In the past week alone, more women have died and many others have become victims of domestic violence, a reality facing Australia right now. I spoke with New South Wales Minister for Women Jodie Harrison and asked her first about what actions are being taken to address the issue in their new plan.
There's a number of ways that we need to combat domestic and family violence. We certainly need to continue investing in crisis, in crisis responses, but we also need to make sure that we focus on prevention before the violence starts and early intervention to make sure that as the violence at very, very early stages, it can be corrected. So the people who want to remain in a relationship with somebody can continue to.
So what are some of the issues that you're seeing that can be prevented if early intervention was to occur?
Well, prevention is really about attitudes to women, largely about attitudes to women. We know that domestic and family violence is a gendered crime. It is predominantly perpetrated by a man against a woman, and frequently in an intimate partner relationship, although we're seeing familial relationships as well. So what we do need to do is we need to expand our focus on ensuring that we have gender equity, but also that we address the harmful attitudes that can perpetuate violence in relationships. We need to work with children in schools, and there is already respectful relationship education occurring in schools, but we need to expand and enhance that. We need to work in workplaces where conversations around the water cooler occur, and we need to work in sporting organisations where often you'll have guys, lining up just having a chat about things. These are the kinds of areas that we want to focus in crime prevention.
Now, Minister, why, in your opinion, has there been an increase in domestic violence in recent times?
Well, we know that ultimately domestic violence is a gendered crime. It is gendered violence. But there are other things that contribute. So where we see increased rates of cost of living challenges, where we see mental health challenges, where we see drug and alcohol use, they can contribute to the use of domestic and family violence. So but we still need to focus on that prevention, on the real gendered aspect of the crime.
Minister, last year New South Wales became the first Australian state to create a standalone offence of coercive control, and from July this year it will be a criminal offence. Last week Queensland also passed the legislation, and as you've mentioned, in most cases domestic violence stems from this type of behaviour. Do you believe tougher penalties like these also need to be further implemented?
The coercive control offence comes in, you're correct, from July this year. In relation to tougher penalties, we have already strengthened laws around high-risk offenders since coming to government. So there is now the potential for extended supervision and continuing detention for people who have used domestic violence and who have gone through the court system, and where there is a likelihood that they are going to reoffend and the court considers that as being a high likelihood. So there's certainly already been a strengthening. We also saw in the last couple of years the introduction of a strangulation standalone offence. So strangulation is now recognised as its own domestic violence offence. We need to take a whole of system approach. So certainly law is a part of it, but we need to look at our communities, how our government responses are, making sure that all of our systems within government link up and work strongly together to ensure that, one, victims of domestic family violence get the best possible support they can at a time that can be incredibly traumatic and, to be honest, dangerous, and perpetrators are correctly dealt with, but also get a chance to change their behaviours if they are willing to.
Yes, an extremely pressing issue that needs further awareness for sure. Minister for the Prevention of Domestic Violence and Sexual Assault, Jodie Harrison, thank you for your time.
Thank you.